back guys to the Minecraft Military Force, and this is Arsenal update number 12. Before I get started, I'd like to thank my Patreon supporters, over 110 of you guys, actually 115 right now. So if you become a Patreon supporter, you support my work, and you can also have access to download these worlds without tutorials. You just download the map. Java and Bedrock editions are available. And the collection has grown even more. If you're interested, check out the link description. But yeah, in this update, we have a lot of new fighter jets. So let's get started right over here. So our first build we're going to look at is the Swedish Gripen, or Griffin. It's the JAS-39. And yeah, it's Sweden's fighter jet. It's pretty famous. Pretty great, you know, Sweden has their own fighter jet design. Made by Saab, and I realized, look how tiny this is compared to the F-16. It's really small, but yeah, I guess it's designed that way so it can, you know, land anywhere, like on highways and stuff. That's what it was designed for. Another new jet, if we go back over here, is the Rafale from the French Air Force. And yeah, we badly needed a redesign of that. You know, remember the old one by Hyperdog? So yeah, this is the new one. I really liked how the air intakes, how they came out with like a diamond shape. And yeah, that's how it looks like. And today I redesigned the J-20 fighter jet, the Chengdu Mighty Dragon for the Chinese Air Force, or People's Liberation Army Air Force. The old one was by Crane, but I realized that was like really overscaled, so now this is a 1.5:1 scale, properly scaled. It's a lot smaller and, you know, slimmer, sleeker, and yeah, it fits in better with the other planes right now. And yeah, pretty cool camo. And behind that, I also have a new fighter jet from the German Air Force, the Luftwaffe. This is the Panavia Tornado. The UK used to operate these, but they have been retired, and also used by Italy. But yeah, I just wanted to make it because, you know, I'm building a lot of German stuff, and you can see their German flag on the tail. Also, it's a variable swept wing aircraft, so this is the one with the wings extended out like this. And this is the one with it swept back and have these munitions on the sides. And realize, look at the fuel tank. This is just incredibly long. I think 11 blocks long or something like that. Yeah. I also added the C2 Greyhound. This is like evolved from the E2 Hawkeye, but they made it so it's kind of like a troop transport or just transporting supplies like mail and stuff. So here's how that looks like. And I notice it is different, of course, with like the stubbier nose. It's not sharp and pointy. So they cut that out, but also like the rear stabilizers, they actually made it like flat across, and all these fins are straight. On the E2, it's kind of like it's all on a diagonal and stuff. So that has changed. And obviously the back part, they widened the fuselage, and the whole section, they have this little thing that pops out. And then here's how it looks like with the folded out wings. So definitely I'm going to use this to put on my Nimitz carrier when it's done. So this update actually built a lot of World War I tanks. So you can see, you know, the Mark V right over here, and in the back we have the Mark IV. So lots of variations. We even have the German tanks and the French tanks. So yeah, I was just going all out it because I was like updating, you know, really old designs. I think Mark 28, he designed the original Mark V, but yeah, it needed a redesign. So here is the new design. And I have several different ones for like these Mark tanks by the British Army. The main difference is going to be male, female, or yeah, this one is a composite or hermaphrodite. And the reason why they're all different is basically this thing right here is a tank gun. That's going to be the male version, but the female versions, you put only machine gun. So machine gun, machine gun, machine gun, machine gun. While the hermaphrodite or the composite one, they have a tank gun on one side and a machine gun on the other side. So, you know, it kind of has both weapons, so it's not completely defenseless against other tanks. And yeah, I just based this off mostly things I've seen in real life, maybe like Bovington or other parts like Kent. They have these lying around, and this one's green. You notice like this one's brownish. I guess that's like the typical color that they use. And they also have these white and red markings for the British. It's kind of like stick on the top, maybe to get out of ditches and stuff like that. Yeah, it was kind of like a brownish, greenish color, more towards brown. But this one is green because it's actually used by the White Russian Army, or maybe later the Soviets. They captured it because it was actually a Russian civil war. So I think UK, they sent these tanks over. And this one is based on one in Luhansk. So they did use this over there, and yeah, that's like, so this had a lot of good references. And then in the back is the Mark IVs. Now, how do you tell between a Mark V and a Mark IV? Aren't they like the same? Well, no, they're not. Well, the obvious difference is like this thing. It only has like this bunker here in the front. There's not really a bunker here in the back. Well, you see in this one, there's like one here and then another one right here. So that is one of the big differences. Another difference is the Mark Vs. They have a vent on the sides like this. Well, the Mark IV, they don't have that vent. So maybe like this Mark IVs, they're really bad ventilation, so it would kind of suck to operate one of these in combat. And here we have a mail tank, so got that guns. And then we also have like the supply tank. So it doesn't have any weapons, it just says supply on the side. Like that. And this last one is, I guess this is a female one, perhaps? Yep. Mark V, or Mark IV female. The machine guns, like that. Alright, so that's all the British tanks. Now we have some German ones. So the Germans, they didn't really like tanks, so they kind of made it in response to this. So this is the A7V tank. And yeah, maybe you might have seen pictures of it. There's not really a lot of these produced, because they're kind of late to the game. So this one is the Wotan. And, in real life, there's like slight color to this, but it's kind of like washed out. And I think it was like a replica or something. And then we have this one. This is the Schnuck. Actually, I think they're both replicas. The only surviving one was sent to Australians called Mephisto. So yeah, this is a replica, but it does function. I think you can see this in like the Tank Museum in Bovington. Or they have it in some event. So yeah, here's with camouflage. And they basically have like this big tank gun in the front and machine guns on the sides and the back as well. Really boxy. So that's the German one. Now we also have the French one. Now this is one of like, it's supposed to be like kind of like a modern tank because like it has the treads on the sides and the movable, the rotating turret on the top in the middle. So this is the Renault FT-17 tank. I think the US also produced some of these under a license and under a different name. But yeah, this is like a really small tank, but it was a very influential design. It also has like this, I think, fishtail or something in the back to get out of ditches. So yeah. And we also have this one. This one, I built it because I seen it on the Netflix film, All Quiet on the Western Front. It's like the World War I Germans against like the French. And the French, they came out with these, which in the actual movie, they used BMPs. But this one's the real one. This is the Saint-Chamond tank, built in 1918. Yeah, this is like really scary in the movie. They're just coming up to the trenches and just blasting all the soldiers who are shooting rifles, and they can't really hurt it. But yeah, this one's actually real. Like it's the sole survivor, still exists. And yeah, the main ornament is this gun here in the front and a machine gun on the side. And I think there's like portholes for additional machine guns. Like you stick one out here. And the next one, this one's from World War II, and this is the Tiger II tank, or King Tiger. And this actually thanks to a commission, which, by the way, guys, you can still commission because the Nimitz carrier is still not complete. This is your last chance, guys. But anyways, yeah, this is a really cool camouflage design. And actually it wasn't too bad to make. Like, I had a lot of fun making this because it's been a while since we made World War II stuff. And speaking of World War II, we also have the ISU-152 Assault Gun used by the Soviets. Also wanted to build this as well because I think it's like an iconic thing. They still use it around for like military parades in Russia. Nice design. I also finished up the Flakpanzer Gepard, used by Germany and Ukraine. So yeah, well, I'm not sure if Germany still uses, but they definitely made it. And yeah, they're giving it to Ukraine to shoot down drones. So I finally finished up the design. So here's how it looks like. Really was influenced my building technique on the Tunguska, how I did it with the trapdoor. So I used the same concept. And yeah, here's how they look like. All right, so the ones over here, they're actually German. So they look like that, just your standard woodland camouflage. There's another one with the radar down. And now for the other ones, these are Ukrainians. So they do have like the Ukrainian markings in white right there. And also they have like this box here in the back as well. So that's another difference. And then this one, they also had one that's plain green, so maybe like I think another country that were donating Gepards as well. And then just green like this. I also added the T-55 main battle tank to the arsenal. Got 2 of them here. They're used right now by the Russians as some kind of like a self-propelled artillery rather than like a main battle tank, because these are very old, but you know, they still need some support fire, the infantry. So yeah, here's how it looks like. Now the main way you can tell it's a T-55, at least for me, is like this gap here in the front between these front wheels, and then these back wheels are all kind of together. So if you look at like the T-64, it's a little bit different, you know, like gap spacing in the wheels. Also, like the bore evacuator is all the way up here in the front, while the other tanks, they're here in the middle. So that's like a really big way you can tell it's the T-55 or T-54. Still not sure the difference between the two. And then right over here I have it with the cub cage armor on the very top of it, and that's basically the only difference. I also have it with like, you know, no side skirts, so this whole area is kind of exposed. And the reason also why I built the T-55 is to make this. This is the BMR-2 with a KMT-9 mine roller. And yeah, this is based on the T-54, so not exactly T-55, but it's pretty close. And I was like wondering what this vehicle is, if you guys remember like was it 2023 counteroffensive down in the south with the Leopard tanks and the Bradleys when they first went to action, and then they got stuck in like, and there was like one of these vehicles as well in the pile up, and I was like wondering what the hell is this? But yeah, it's some really old Soviet mine clearing vehicle. Let's take a look at the mine plow right there. And then they also have like these boards here on the side. So really it's like a Soviet demining vehicle, because I think after the Soviets' experience in Afghanistan, they want to develop this vehicle. And yeah, apparently Ukraine still operates this. I don't think Russia does anymore. We also have the M9 Ace, and I forgot to mention this in the last update. So I'm gonna go over it right now. It's basically like a bulldozer used by the US Army, and I did add in a green one, an updated design from Bob's version. So yeah, just a little, you know, combat engineering vehicle you can add to the arsenal. I also redesigned the M939 series military cargo truck. This is the M923A1, and I have it in desert tan and the woodland camouflage. So this is really present, maybe like the 90s or the 2000s even, like Operation Desert Storm and stuff like that. They would probably use this. And yeah, it's like a really old school truck. Maybe they still use this. I'm not exactly sure. Maybe like Korea have their own version. And yeah, here in the back they have like tarps as well. So yeah, it's a good military truck. I also updated the SD KFZ-251. This is a half-track used by the Wehrmacht in World War II, the German army. So I have 2 of them. One's in gray. This, and what's kind of weird is they only have the headlight on one side, at least like the later versions of it. And yeah, machine gun up here, and another machine gun facing the back. This, I actually made the treads like really thin, which is more realistic. Instead of using full block wide, you know, got like stairs, so it cuts off a little bit in the inside parts. And also added a camouflage version of it. This is number 1022. What it looks like. Alright, and then for an update on the Nimitz, here's how it looks like so far. Since last time, you know, honestly I didn't work too much on it. It's only been like 2 weeks since the last update, but one of the main things I did, you know, was add in these yellow lines that go across like this. So one there, another one here, and also added these white stripe lines going across over here, and another pair over here. I also indented this little bit right here, because this part, it actually dips out a little bit here. I had to figure all of that out, do some alignment. Also, I made these antennas like really thin like this. And did add in some details right over here in this, you know, elevator like that. I also worked a bit on the island like inside over here. This is actually like some kind of like a camera operator, a guy who records. So that's what's inside over here. Then for this level, yeah, you can see a little bit interior design. That. And then I have to do the other 2 floors. And then in the yard, I am working on a lot of new projects. I'm gonna have to do the KC-135. That's actually commissioned by Trainmaster 3985 aerial refueler, and yeah, it's almost done. I just gotta keep working on it. Yesterday, I also started working on like the Buck M1. This is like Soviet SAM, and you know, I've been redesigning old vehicles, and then I have like the S300 V1, so this is kind of like a different chassis. And I'm also working on some Panzer tanks. This is really rough designs. Got a KV2 back over there. Also working on a Type 90 tank. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the update. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, thanks a lot to my Patreon supporters who actually donated their money to support the channel, because this is one of the main motivators, you know, behind building all of this. Without your support, you know, none of this is actually possible. I probably would have given up a long time ago, so I do appreciate it. But if you're not a Patreon supporter yet, you know, you can consider becoming one. The link will be in the description. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.